nod-krai's here. Oh god, the nod-krai update is the worst update ever. Genshin's done. Nod-krai's the worst. Oh, this is the final nail in my coffin. Actual worst update ever. I don't want to play this game anymore. It's what a lot of people are saying on the internet about the new nod-krai live stream, and I wanted to talk about it today. I wanted to make a follow-up video to my live stream reaction because I admit when I'm reacting in the moment with a lot of people watching me, I get caught up in the hype and I miss certain details, or my brain can't really process like the information they're throwing at us in that moment. But I'm filming this Saturday morning, a day after. I've slept on it, I've thought about it, and I wanted to make this video as a follow-up to kind of go over what they've talked about in the live stream, what's coming in nod-krai, and the things that I'm really excited for, and the things that I'm kind of like, why did they do that? Because there are definitely things that I wish they just weren't doing. Now, I made a video like this a long time ago, I think like 8 months ago, where I made a follow-up video on my thoughts. You guys seem to enjoy it, but I just never did them again. So let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this. But I do want to preface this video by saying I am very excited for nod-krai. I think it is one of their best updates ever, but it's not perfect. But let's talk about it. So starting off the bat, apparently this is not 6.0. It's called Luna I. So I'm thinking Naoya is going to be actual 6.0, and this is kind of like an in-between to kind of push 6.0 off, which I think is interesting, but I just wanted to mention that. But I thought it was gonna be 6.0, but apparently it's not. It's gonna be releasing September 10th, which is very soon, and I am excited. Let me get this out of the way real quick. I wanna go into this video saying I am very excited for nod-krai. Overall, there's a lot of good things coming, and I love this game, but there are some things that I've thought about that I'm like, you know what? I wish they had done some different things with that. But as a Hoyo shill that a lot of people like to call me, I am very excited for nod-krai. There's a lot of great things coming. Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for nod-krai, or if you're one of the people that thinks this is the worst update in the world. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts though. So for the first half of 6.0 on our banners, we're gonna have Lauma, who's a new character to nod-krai, obviously, and then a Nahida rerun. And then we're gonna have obviously Nahida's weapon and Lauma's weapon as well. Now, personally, I'm pulling for Lauma. I already have Nahida, especially with the new lunar reactions. I think Lauma's gonna be able to do lunar bloom, and I think the new lunar reactions will probably be important for nod-krai. I also like bloom teams. I miss using my Nilou team, but I had a lot of fun with that back in the day, so I'm excited to revisit it. But Nahida is also a very good pull. But again, do your research, see what your account needs personally. Don't try to go off of the hype of like a new character, because like your account might benefit more from a Nahida rerun, or even just skipping both of them. But personally, I'm pulling for Lauma. I love her design. I think they knocked it out of the park with her. How she can like turn into a deer, half centaur thing, I don't know, and just run around. I love it. And then for the second phase, we're gonna have Flynn's and then Yelan with Aino as a 4-star on those banners. And then obviously Flynn's weapon. Again, pull for who you think will benefit your account more and who you like more. Out of those two, they're not bad characters. Yelan's an amazing Hydro character still. I still use her to this day. I've been using her on a Tartaglia team recently, but Flynn's is a new character for nod-krai. I'm personally high for him as well, but again, maybe I get rose-colored glasses because I'm like, ooh, new shiny character. I really want them. And then the Chronicled Wish is coming back, 6.0 Chronicled Wish banner, and it's for Sumeru characters. So for the people that don't have Tighnari's weapon, Hunter's Path, you can finally get it again. Now, I know people have their opinions on Chronicled Wish. I think the Chronicled Wish banners are really for a specific type of player. It's not like a blanket thing for everyone to pull on. You don't have to pull on it. It's for people that really want those specific characters or those weapons that they weren't able to get on a rerun, or they just never were on a banner again, right? Like Hunter's Path. Personally, out of this, I am not pulling any of those characters or any of the weapons because I already have them. I'm not really pulling on that one. Obviously, the big thing coming in nod-krai is nod-krai, the new region, and I am very excited for it. I think it looks awesome. Just the aesthetic of it and like the music, everything. Oh my god, I'll talk about the music in a bit, but like Natlan, I really did like for the exploration. I did like the vibes of Natlan. I know some people were going into Natlan hoping it'd be like more dark and war-torn, and it wasn't. It was very like, as a lot of people on the internet had like to call it, very like kid show, very like brightly colored, like, ooh, pretty colors. Like, but something about nod-krai, the vibes of it, it just looks
I don't know. And maybe the music mixed in with it really hypes me up because, as you guys know, or maybe you don't, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is my favorite game of all time ever made, alongside Bloodborne. And the music for nod-krai straight up just gives me Witcher vibes, mixed in with like the medieval fantasy, mystical areas. Personally, I'm eating it up. Everything from like Nasha Town or the Isle of the Cold Moonlight, like dude, like that looks awesome. Like the big Fatui spaceship thing, and like the enemy designs look really cool too. Like the Wild Hunt with like no heads and just like flames for heads. I think they really knocked it out of the park. I also really like the immersion that they're trying to go for, because they said in the live stream as well, they were showing off some of the immersiveness of nod-krai, and you can definitely tell just from the live stream what they're trying to do. Like certain characters will get certain reactions from NPCs, like people will do like a salute to Lauma. If you're playing as Flynn's, you'll be able to understand certain enemies' languages, and there's probably going to be a lot more than that as well, or even different dialogue options for NPCs depending on the characters that you're playing as. Even in Aino's workshop, you see like the big metal arm at her workshop, like picking up metal and stuff. That's all happening while you're in game. Then you see like Inefa stuck on like the metal claw thing. I don't know. They're really trying to go into the immersiveness of it, and I appreciate that. Genshin is mostly a single player RPG gacha game with co-op modes, but usually most people play it single player, right? And it's starting to really feel more like a single player game, which they had mentioned a while ago that they were taking inspiration from some of their favorite single player games to add into nod-krai. And I noticed it and I appreciate it, and I'm very excited. And that concert, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm being a hoyosho, sorry. You ever wish you can punch a kaiju the size of a skyscraper in the face? Well, now you can, because Kaiju number 8, the game, is finally here. Thanks to Kaiju number 8, the game, for sponsoring this video. This brand new mobile and PC game, developed and operated by Akatsuki Games Inc. with TOHO and Production IG, drops you right into the heart of the hit anime and manga. You'll command the Japan Anti-Kaiju Defense Force in giant killing turn-based battles against the towering monsters. The combat is intuitive but full of depth. Choose your squad skills, exploit a kaiju's weak point, then unleash devastating ultimate attacks when their core is exposed. And the graphics are amazing. You can feel the raw impact of Kafka's punch, the razor-sharp precision of Hoshina's blades, and the earth-shaking power of Kakoru's axe. Honestly, it's one of the best animated game adaptations I've seen. Personally, the moment I'm most hyped to play is reliving Kafka's first transformation scene. It gave me chills in the anime, and now I actually get to experience through it in 3D. Beyond the story, there's a brand new author-supervised narratives and original characters expanding the Kaiju number 8 universe even further. So don't wait. Download Kaiju number 8, the game, today on the Google Play Store or the App Store to grab your launch celebration rewards, including a 5-star character of your choice, and start taking down Kaiju yourself. Use my link in the description and the pinned comment. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Now, going on to the Archon quest, obviously we're getting a new Archon quest with Columbina, and which, by the way, you can talk to her and stuff, which we'll probably get into that in a bit. But Sandrone's in there, Lauma, Flynn's, like they're all there, right? All the new characters, pretty much. They're doing something a little bit different, at least in the beginning, where they're mixing character quests into the Archon quest. Now, I made a joke about this in the live stream, and I was like, uh-oh, here we go. Honkai Star Rail route, which is not a bad thing. Here's the thing. I am not against long quests. It's pacing, because we know how gacha games are, where they like to just kind of stand there and you have to read an entire novel of texts, then you walk over somewhere and then you do that all over again, right? Other games like Wuwa, for instance, I hate to bring up Wuwa, right? Oh my god. One thing that Wuwa does very well that I really appreciate is their pacing for their quests. I think the quests just flow very well. It doesn't really like overstay its welcome, I think. Oh man, we've been here for quite a while, you know, or it's usually like the first half is a lot of setup and second half or the ending is like really hype, and then it's just rinse and repeat. I don't mind that they're mixing the character quest with the Archon quest. I actually like that. I just hope that the pacing is good. We'll see, but you can expect my playthrough of them being uploaded to this channel as well. But yeah, I'm excited to do it. We are getting some new nod-krai forgeable weapons. They look like weapons from nod-krai. One's called Snare Hook, Black Marrow Lantern, Prospector's Shovel, Master Key, Serenity's Call. They look okay. Like, I've seen cooler looking forgeable weapons, but they'll probably be good as like F2P weapons for certain characters. Now going on to some of the new bosses. First and foremost, we got Knuckle Duckle, which I don't know if I'm a fan of that name. There's something about it when I say it. It just sounds wrong when I say it. I don't know. But I think it's a funny looking boss design, obviously made by Aino, I think, right? I like it. It has like a little cuckoo clock, like what is that, boxing glove that jumps out of their chest. I think that's hilarious. And then like a saw blade for a weapon and then a hammer. It looks like what a kid would make as like a weird, disgusting mechanical enemy. And then we got the Radiant Moonfly, which looks like it disturbs me. I'm not gonna lie, like looking at this thing disturbs me. I think it's the legs. It looks like a biblically accurate angel with like long Pokemon legs. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's a cool looking design. It freaks me out. And then going on to the events, because obviously what would be an update without events to earn primo gems and stuff. We're gonna have Clink Clank Clash, which is just mini games and nod-krai to get a free catalyst weapon and other rewards such as primo gems. So, and then we're getting like a tabletop event where you place bombs and detonate them with Dodoko to drive all of the spiky fish enemies away. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been like less excited about events recently in Genshin. My gacha games in general, even Wuwa, even Star Rail, none of the events have really been like, oh my god, like I love this event. Like the last event I can think of in Genshin that I really enjoyed, that potion making one where you had your own store and stuff. I really did like that. I don't know, maybe it's because it's like a life sim type thing that I like. I'm not trying to dog on the events or anything. I'm just saying as a player, as well as a streamer, I haven't really been like crazy about the events, but again, rewards and things to do, nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna come back to this one in 1 second, okay? And then we got the Traveler's Tales, which we've had in the game for a little bit, where you can find your characters out in the open world and talk to them and gain more lore and insight, which I love. I love that they added that. Then you got a music rhythm game update. And then for artifacts, we're gonna have the Overflowing Favor. It gives double artifacts drops in version 6.0. And then we'll also be celebrating Genshin's 5th anniversary, which they said they're gonna have a video on that in the future. I think, what did they say? September 20th, I think. I don't remember, but they did talk about the rewards that we're getting. I'm going to put them up on the screen right here. 1600 primo gems, a 10 pull, other things as well. I'm mostly excited for that little cat pet though. Oh my god, maybe I'm just simple brained, I don't know, but the little robot cat pet, I'm mostly excited for that thing. I don't know, it looks so cute. But let me know in the comments what you think about the anniversary rewards. Obviously there's gonna be people that are not happy about it, people that are fine with it, and yeah. Now let's go back to this, to temper thyself and journey far, because this is going to lead into some of the controversy that Genshin is getting itself into, like it always does. So this event is something new where you'll be completing daily and weekly tasks to get free constellations for your chosen character. Let me go into more detail about it because we have a little bit more of a blurb that we wrote out. So it's going to last from September 9th to December 1st of 2025. It is a permanent event, but it will renew itself at the end of each of its periods. You'll have to complete 8 weekly training goals to select and redeem 1 5-star character, Stella Fortuna. Now, put a pin in that real quick. What is Stella Fortuna? So let's say you already have a C6 Chi-Chi and you're pulling for Lauma on the new banner, but you lose your 50-50 and now you have a C7 Chi-Chi. Well, in addition to getting Star Glitter like you normally do, you'll now get this new thing called the Masterless Stella Fortuna, which you can use to get a constellation for one of the characters on this new event, or to level up a character to 95 or 100, which we'll put a pin into that now because we'll get back to that. I just wanted to explain what this new thing is. But going back to the temper thyself and journey afar, you'll pretty much complete 8 weekly training goals to select and redeem 1 5-star character, Stella Fortuna, 1 constellation of a character that you own already. If you select a 5-star character that you already have at C6 from this list, you'll just receive a Masterless Stella Fortuna. So TLDR, you do weekly challenges to receive 1 free constellation of your character of choice that you already own. So if you don't own Hu Tao, you can't use it to gain a Hu Tao. You have to already have Hu Tao, and you'll get a C1 Hu Tao or C2, whatever constellation you're already at. 4 Stella Fortuna to be claimed yearly, by the way, and it's limited to 1 character, meaning you can't just hoard the 4 Stella Fortuna and then dump them all into one of the characters. It's only 1 per character. So I do think it's kind of cool that we can like do these weekly challenges and stuff to gain constellations for characters that we already own that are on the list. Like if you have Hu Tao, right, and you get a C1 Hu Hu Tao from this, your Hu Tao is a lot more fun to play now, in my opinion, because her C1 helps her so much. Now, I've seen some people be very mad about this, saying, well, what if I don't have any of the characters on that list? Well, I guess you're not getting a constellation for any of them. Now, I do think that they will be changing the characters, or at least adding on to the characters after the 12-week period ends. That's speculation. I would think they would do that. That just makes logical sense. I don't know why they would just keep it to these specific 18 characters, but they'll probably add more characters onto it as it goes on. But I do think the event is pretty cool that you can earn constellations for the characters that you already own that are on the list. But this is where the big controversy comes into play with Genshin Impact, the Masterless Stella Fortuna. Let's talk about it. So the Stella Fortuna is a new item that helps you get your characters from level 90 to 100. The current game's level cap is 90. The only way to get a character up to 100 is by using Stella Fortuna. But you do have to use 2 of them, one to get it up to 95 first and then to 100. But the good thing is it won't use any extra resources like books or boss drops or anything like that. It just uses the Stella Fortuna. Now, again, how do you get the Masterless Stella Fortuna? Now, the only way to get this is by already having a character at C6 and then getting another copy of them. So like I said earlier, if you already have a C6 Chi-Chi or Tainari or whatever, and then you lose your 50-50 on the limited banner to that character and get a C7 version of them, you'll get a Masterless Stella Fortuna. Or if you do the Temper Thyself event and you pick a character on that list that you already have at C6, you'll get a Masterless Stella Fortuna instead of a Con because you already have them at C6. But this is where people are very angry, because people are saying that this is very whale centric and very catered to people who spend a lot of money. I would have to agree with that. And the reason why people say that is because not everyone has a C6 character, right? They could have even been playing from a long time ago and still not have a C6 character because they just don't spend money. And so this new Stella Fortuna, raising your characters level 100, does seem to cater to the people who have spent a lot of money and do have C6 characters. And I think some people are also angry because it's allowing you to raise the cap from level 90 to 100 on characters, which in the live stream, they do say right here, at level 100, your character will have stronger base stats, because obviously it's raising your HP, defense, and your base attack. And then they also say, and a greater base effect when they trigger elemental reactions. Now, I don't calculate things. I don't know the calculations on that, but I did take some screenshots. So this is from level 90 to 95. This was on Traveler that they were upgrading. It got his base HP from 10,925 to 11,301, base attack from 583 to 610, base defense from 683 to 706. That's the 95. Then 100 right here, 11,301, 11,677, 610 to 637, 706 to 730. I don't know how to do math, but essentially it went from 10,925 HP to 11,677, base attack from 583 to 637, and then defense from 683 to 730. Now, there are obviously characters in the game that benefit from having more HP or more base attack, like Bennett. Now, the things I've been seeing on the internet, some people are, I think, drama baiting it and over exaggerating this by a lot, actually. But let me explain, let me cook before you go to the comments and you think I'm trying to defend a multi-billion-dollar company, okay? The things that I've seen on Twitter, because it's Twitter and Reddit and all that, people are acting like this is going to make their new Valette hit 100, 200,000 more now all of a sudden because they went from 90 to 100, or their Bennett's going to boost their attack by like 200%. You know what I mean? I think people are getting a little too angry and kind of trying to blow it out of proportion. But I've noticed recently that the internet is like 95% drama bait and rage bait at this point, so people just need something to be mad about. Now, with that being said, do I wish this was different? Yes, I do. I don't think it should be tied to this very rare material that you can only get by already having C6 characters. I think it's really cool that they're allowing us to raise our level cap for characters to 100, but at this cost, that really is, you know, only for people who have spent a lot of money or have C6 characters, which is usually by spending money. It kind of sucks. Now, do I also think that people are over exaggerating it and trying to rage bait it? and drama bait it? Yes, because they're not going up a considerable amount. Your Nouvelette is not going to start hitting 100,000 damage more. Your base attack for Bennett going up a little bit is not going to make your Arlecchino start hitting millions. It's raising your base stats, but not by a lot. And I think this is more for bragging rights, to be like, oh yeah, look, my Bennett is level 100 or my Nouvelette is level 100. But I don't like the way they're going about it. I think this is a really cool feature that should be available to all players, not just because you have C6 characters. I think they should have done something differently with rewarding you for getting a C7 copy of a character and not tie it to this. Something that I've noticed with Genshin, and I still love Genshin, but it always seems like they are giving us something really cool, but then there's a catch to it. Like with loadouts recently, right? We finally got loadouts. They even use the words loadouts, and I was like, oh my god, they're actually doing it. But then the catch was it was based off of artifacts that the game would choose for you, not your own artifacts. So like it's not really loadouts like we thought it was going to be, right? I have also seen some people say like it's not really this that's pissing them off, but it's more of what's next, right? It's kind of like the Castress thing that was happening in the Honkai Star Rail, where like she gives the account wide buff of a revive, I think, right? People were really angry about that because it's like, oh my god, it's like a feature that's only locked to having this specific character on your account. What's next? A character that's gonna raise my crit damage up by 100%. I just don't think that Genshin would do that. I don't think Hoyo would add something that would like literally break the game, that only caters to a very specific audience that plays the game, because they know that that would cause mass hysteria. I am a little worried that they did say that it will increase your elemental damage and reactions and stuff. I don't know by how much. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping by not that much, because if it is by a lot or like a considerable amount, that would not be good. I think people would have been more happy if they just raised the level cap to 100 and you would still need to use books and weapon and boss drops and stuff like that, right? Versus tying it to a very rare material. So, oh, and before we move on from this, one last thing with the Stella Fortuna, when Luna 1 releases, Genshin will issue eligible players the corresponding number of masterless Stella Fortuna that they are already owed retroactively, meaning if you got a C6, C7 Chi-Chi a long time ago, or in my case, Arlecchino C8, you know, they will go through every single account and give you the masterless Stella Fortuna that you are owned. But it just sucks for people that don't have any C6 characters, because then they'll get none of them. And then lastly, let's go over the developer discussions and the optimization details that are coming in Luna 1. So first and foremost, Oculi, Shrine of Depths, and other content. Collecting Oculi, unlocking Shrine of Depths, and completing other content will reward you with additional adventure XP for your AR level. So yeah, just more ways to earn XP to level up your AR, which I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't raise the AR level from 60 to something different. But you know, they probably would have done that. And it's like, you can only do that if you have this. Like, you can only go to AR 70 only if you've given Dawei $100 in cash. I'm just making a joke. I think that this would have been like a perfect time for them to raise the AR level from 60 to something different, but I don't know, whatever. Now for the character trials, they'll have basic tutorials with videos. So people who don't really understand what they're reading, or they need like a visual thing, they'll have videos in the game to show you like what it does. So that's pretty cool. Also as well, if you already have that character, I think they said this in the live stream, if you already have that character and you've already done the trial in the past, you don't have to redo it again just to get those primos or those level up materials. You could just claim it. Like, the game will already know. The battle pass is getting harvestable rewards, which finally, I think that's awesome. So the things that you go out and collect, right, like flowers and all that stuff, you can now earn in the battle pass. And then for all my people who like to spend money in this game, the shop is going to be reset, so all the top-up bonuses will be reset because it's anniversary as well. Now, something interesting that I saw was the multiplayer. They're reducing the difficulty of domains, the world, and weekly bosses while farming them in co-op, which I think is really cool, because I've seen some people who, you know, just struggle. It's just too hard, but they just want to play with their friends, but they keep dying. So I think that's a really cool thing that they're doing. The treasure compass is getting an update. You can upgrade the treasure compass through the joint meeting point construction gameplay and track oculi, treasure, and clues in nod-krai. So pretty much the treasure compass does more for you when you're exploring to collect stuff, which is good. As someone who is now trying to really get into exploration and collecting more things, this will be a very welcome feature for me to make it easier. You can read the other things on the screen here, but the big thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is probably the thing that I am personally most excited for, is the 4th substat of 5-star artifacts. So you know, like when you're farming artifacts and you get one and it has the 3 substats like defense, HP, crit rate, right? Well, you see that crit rate and you're like, oh man, what if the 4th one is going to be crit damage? I should roll it to level 4 to see what it goes into. So you waste a little bit of, you know, materials to do that, and then it goes into flat attack or something, right? Something that you don't want. And now you just wasted some materials and like it's just a dud, and now it's taking space in your inventory, right? Not anymore, because now the game will show you in a very like grayed out way what that 4th stat is going to be, which I think is really cool, because now you can see like, oh, this one that I thought was going to be good is actually going to go into EM, which I don't want on this artifact. So I can just get rid of it or do whatever with it, right? As someone who has a full inventory full of artifacts, and yes, I know I need to go through all of them, this is going to help a ton. This is a very big optimization that I've been wanting for a long time. And then lastly, the UGC mode. It's the user generated content where we're gonna be able to like have people create maps and like game modes. Think of like the cool, weird Fortnite game modes that you see, or like Roblox or something. It's pretty much Roblox, Fortnite meets Genshin, where people can create their own maps and game modes and then share them with the world. I don't think people are talking about that enough or are excited enough about it. Maybe this is my content brain, but like the amount of cool content that we're gonna be able to make with videos and streams and like community stuff. I don't know. They showed off some really cool things. Like they were playing like FIFA. They had like a Diablo game mode that they were doing, like a Valorant mode. I think that has so much potential. And they even said that they would compensate people for making maps that are popular. So I think it's pretty cool too. But from my perspective, I'm insanely excited for that. And I think more people should be. And I think it's coming in January of next year. We have a little bit of time to wait for that, but I am personally very excited for the UGC mode. Now, there are some little things that I missed here and there, but I really wanted to talk about the big things. Overall, yes, I am very excited for nod-krai, and yes, I do stand by it. I do think that this is one of the best updates that they are coming out with. I'm excited for nod-krai. I think it looks amazing. The music, the immersion that they're adding into the story and the NPCs and the little details. I'm very excited for it. It looks awesome. The characters look great, and I bet you the Archon quest is going to be amazing, even with the changes that they're adding to it. I really like that we can get a constellation for a character that we already own by doing weekly and daily challenges. I love that we can see the 4th stat of an artifact before we waste materials rolling into it, hoping it's going to be good. And I'm very, very excited for the UGC mode, but it's not perfect. And there are definitely things that I wish they could have done, should have done, honestly, differently. The level 100 character thing, that could have been handled so much better. I don't think that they should be locking that to people who already have C6 characters. Is it a game-breaking thing to get your character from level 90 to 100? No, they really dropped the ball on that one. And I think the internet now has really just gotten to a point where I don't think Hoyo could ever do anything to make everybody happy. And I think that is for any company. They will never be able to make every single person happy. And it always seems like people try to find something to be very angry about, and then they'll try to over exaggerate it to make it something huge. But I do stand by it and say that Genshin, you know, loves to introduce something that seems really cool, but then there's a catch. And I think people tend to forget that, you know, me or content creators also play this game. You know, I'm also a player that wants better for this game. We're not getting more resin. If anything, they're changing the condensed resin, right? Condensed resin is now going to consume 60 fragile resin to drop 3 times the reward. So they're changing that, but they're not upping the resin count, which I think they should have done by now, right? Especially with the amount of characters that this game has and the amount of content. How do we not have more resin or a resin reserve? Like if you miss a couple days, okay, your resin is just going into like a little bank so that you have your 200 plus the amount of days that you've been missing, like the other gacha games do. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention this. Something that, again, was really cool And then there was a catch to it. It was the day locking thing. If you watch me on my streams, I stream on twitch.tv/Doro44 every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Come check me out. I complain about this pretty much every time I have to build a character. But you know, if you play Genshin Impact, certain domains, certain materials are day locked, right? You can only farm this on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Sunday, or a Friday, and then the fourth Monday of every couple years. You know, like it's stupid stuff like that. While other games allow you to farm anything, any day of the week. And I have been on the campaign to try to get Genshin to finally just get rid of the day locking thing. Let us farm whenever. And then in the live stream, they finally did. They said when a new character drops, like Lauma or Flynn's or whatever, for the first week, you can farm all their stuff, any of their stuff for the first week. So it's gonna help you building your characters, like your new Lauma. Okay, cool. I can farm every single day for Lauma whenever I need to. And then after the first 7 days, it goes back to normal. There's the catch. Why didn't we just get rid of it? Just get rid of the day locking thing. I don't know. Just get rid of that. For me, that'll make it easier for me to build my characters for this series that I like to do of building a character in a single stream. And I don't know if Genshin is just afraid of maybe like if they did that, people would play less, but I'm gonna be real with you. This is Genshin motherfucking Impact, one of the biggest gacha games in the gacha space. I truly do not think that if they implemented more resin or a resin reserve system or getting rid of the day locking thing for farming, that they would see a tremendous drop in players. That just wouldn't happen. People play this game because either they love it or they have a sunken cost fallacy or they're just checking it out. You know, Genshin's one of the biggest ones. But those bad things aside, which by the way, they're not even bad things. I think they're just being implemented wrong. They're good things, but done in the wrong way. Those things aside, I do think overall this is one of their best updates, and I'm very excited for nod-krai. I'm probably more excited for nod-krai than I was for Natlan. And I keep saying this on my stream, I think nod-krai will be like a new golden age for Genshin or a new peak for Genshin. I might be wrong. You can always come back to this video and be like, hey Doro, it's 6.0 now, we're in Naoya, and nod-krai was trash. You were wrong in that video. Do it. Those are my honest thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below if you like these types of follow-up videos to the live streams, because I've only done it once before and then I just didn't do it again for some reason. I don't know why, but I think it's important for me to do it just for people who do care about my opinion. I do admit that like when I'm doing the reactions live, I only have a very small amount of time to like process what they just said, and I get excited or not excited, you know, because I don't want to be talking too much over what they're saying. So making like a follow-up video with like some time to think about it. I'm filming this literally Saturday morning right now. I had some time to sleep on it and actually gather my thoughts. Let me know if you like these types of videos and I'll do more. But anyways, let me know in the comments down below if you are excited for nod-krai, the things that you are happy about, the things that you are not happy about, and let's have a discussion in the comments. I'll catch you guys at the next one.